Hello, Digital Dragons, and welcome to another edition of the Dragon Debrief Middle School Edition. Once again, if you're not aware of what the Dragon Debrief is, it is an informational video we send out over here at the middle school level to inform all parents, learning coaches, students, as well as the community in general in terms of what we are doing over here at the middle school. I will be honest, this is a very short Dragon Debrief as we really wanted to kind of highlight specifically what our students are doing over here, as well as just kind of highlight what exactly we are doing in terms of grade level competitions and everything else. So this will be a very short but important Dragon Debrief. So student highlights. One of the big things we really wanted to focus in on over here at the middle school level was really highlighting what specifically our students are doing, not only within class, but also within the K-12 zone, as well as just in general when they're collaborating or working with their peers. So one thing in terms of really focusing on those student highlights is we want to promote what these students are doing in their class. So some of the aspects that we're going to be focusing on when doing these student highlights are, one, engagement. How well are they engaged in class? Are they participating on the microphone? Are they working in small groups well? Are they answering questions? Another thing is just group activities in general. So how well are they working with their peers? Are they showing more of a leadership quality? Are they going above and beyond? And then just also in general success stories. We may have a certain student who was possibly struggling for a specific reason, but you never know, later on that student ended up excelling in the specific course that they may be taking, so on and so forth. So this is a huge factor that we also wanted to focus on. But our main point is that we really want to try to highlight at least one student per Dragon Debrief. And as I had stated in my first Dragon Debrief, we wanted to try to provide these two students about once a week, if not at least once every other week. The other aspect I am extremely excited to talk about is the Student of the Month. And so I was actually in talks with our grade level team leads, Mrs. Clifton, Mrs. Barr, as well as Mrs. Sanders. And we decided that the best course of action for a Student of the Month would actually be to select two students per grade level, and then essentially just highlight them within this Dragon Debrief, as well as to the rest of the students here within Indiana Gateway. So some of the qualifications to be considered for the Student of the Month is you have to show engagement in class. Some of these aspects could include being on your microphone as well as having your camera on at all times. Another big factor is going to be assignment completion, making sure that you're actually getting your assignments turned in and that your grades are effective or your grades are good. And then another one is, again, just working with those peers. How well is the student able to collaborate with other students within the classroom? Are they building connections? Various other different things as well. So the last thing that we want to talk about was the actual selection process. So in terms of how these students will be selected will be primarily based on each teacher within a specific grade level. So what will happen is all the sixth grade teachers will come together and essentially talk about various students that they believe could be Student of the Month. And then what will end up happening is that they will eventually come to a decision and then inform me, and then we would then post this information to the Dragon Debrief as well as send out emails. Next and lastly, grade level competition. Again, this is a huge factor we really wanted to highlight over here at the middle school. One, just to kind of, again, give the middle school more of its own identity, but also incorporate that competitiveness that all of us as Digital Dragons have. So one of the things we wanted to focus on with these grade level competitions, specifically for this month of August, are those strong start calls and the STAR 360 completion. So what we've ended up doing is, at the very end of this month, August 31st, we're going to look at each grade level in terms of how many strong start calls have been made by homeroom teachers, as well as how many students have completed their STAR 360 testing for both reading and math. And then at the very end of the month, we are going to highlight who has bragging rights for the rest of the month of September until the next competition happens. Is it going to be the sixth grade? Is it going to be the seventh grade, or is it going to be the eighth grade? And you can kind of see the theme that we have right above here in terms of what our team leads, as well as all of our other teachers throughout sixth through eighth grade, have created to kind of highlight that competitiveness as well as everything else. Another big component of this grade level competitions is really just to highlight our school spirit. We want to improve upon that. We want every single person that we meet to know that we are digital dragons, that we're pumped up about it, and that we're ready to advocate as well as just build awareness for that fact. So we're also looking into having various spirit weeks. I know my biggest thing was always pajama day, as well as various other themes that we could have. So be on the lookout on for that as well. Excuse me. And then lastly, data focus. So again, a lot of these student competitions are going to focus on specifically what we are focused on here at the middle school level, but then also just trying to provide these students with this bragging rights. All right, is it the 6th grade this month? Is it the 7th grade? Is it the 8th grade? Who has bragging rights specifically? And who's going to let them know? Who's going to tell them all that? And again, we'll continue to go with that theme as well. And then again, as always, during this component, we will always highlight it throughout the Dragon Debrief as well as just in emails in general. So just something to be aware of. Other than that, go Digital Dragons and let them know. I'll see y'all later.